Monster Hunter has been a very popular series ever since the first game came out, with multiple releases. This game, Monster Hunter World, is my first ever experience with the Monster Hunter games. My girlfriend got this for me, and it looked really good on the cover, and the back looked badass. It kind of reminded me of God of War a little bit. But then I started playing it, and I was sadly, I don't know, just let down, I guess. Now put it this way, it's not a bad game. I just expected a lot more. It's just a mediocre experience for me, to put it that way. So today I'm just going to do a review over Monster Hunter World. Now I have the Iceborne edition, but I haven't played Iceborne yet. So this is just the main campaign. It's not Iceborne, it's just the main Monster Hunter World campaign. So, just to start off, we're going to go over the story. I will not do really any spoilers for story's sake. In my Sinking City review, I did get some comments that I did spoil too much of the story, so I promise I won't do it here. So, you are a monster hunter, obviously, and you're part of the 5th Fleet, and so you're going to the New World to hunt and research new types of monsters. So it sounds okay, but that's pretty much it. The entire game is you just fighting monsters. And there are, I don't know, bigger parts of the story, but you wouldn't really care because the characters don't even talk to you. They do like little and alright and let's do this. Stuff like that, and they'll have the dialogue on the bottom of the screen and you have to read it. No, 99% of the gamers are not going to read that. We're just going to skip on through it. So I think the story has a lot more backstory and more detail into it, but you wouldn't really care to know about it because you don't want to read this damn dialogue. You just want to go out and fight monsters. So the overall experience of the story is bland. And honestly, there's absolutely no purpose in the game. I didn't find a purpose at all for us being there. We were just humans invading animals' habitats and killing them. They claim our commission is a research commission. Instead of just researching them, you know, like people would, I don't know, let's say, knock animals out and then study them and then release them back into the wild. No, we just fucking murder all of them. Any monster that comes in our path, we just murder for no apparent reason whatsoever. Of course, some reasons are because they're in our way, so we have to kill them in order to proceed. And that is every single mission. You try to get to the objective. There's a monster in the way. Kill the monster. Finish the objective. That is the entire game. This overall campaign story is bland and it has absolutely no purpose. So, story is, I would not recommend getting this game for the story's sake, but in terms of the other things in the game that I liked, I would definitely buy it for that purpose, but we'll get to that here soon. So, story, not interesting, but what is interesting? I'll go over my likes first because there's a lot less. I had good things to say about this game rather than the dislikes of the game. So, going on. First thing is the graphics, design, the scenery, the atmosphere, textures, colors, everything is absolutely beautiful in this game. I have no complaints. And one of the best part about this game is that there's 5 different regions, and they're all different. You got the Rotten Vale, which is just a graveyard of monsters. Just bones and just disgusting all around. Then you got the Wild Spear, whatever you call it. It looks like a desert. You know, it's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of Arizona or Nevada, stuff like that. You got the Ancient Forest, is what you expect. It's a green foresty area. You also got the Coral Highlands, which basically looks like underwater coral type of land, but it's not underneath water, but it's very pretty. And also you got Elder's Recess. Recess? Whatever you want to pronounce it. Very beautiful area. You got parts with lava and a bunch of, looks like, diamonds sticking out of the ground, out of the ceiling walls. Overall, all the different regions are all unique, and they're all just really pretty with their own designs, and the different types of monsters too. The monsters are absolutely badass. Every monster has its own unique design. They have their own unique moves and power sets, and they're all different, let's say, attack power, defense power, speed, stealth. Some fly, some jump, some run. Just the monsters are just completely badass. Are they a pain in the ass to fight? Yes, but holy shit, are they awesome? They're awesome. Highlight of the game, Monster Hunter World. You expect the monsters to look good, and they look amazing. And you're not fighting these monsters alone. With you, you have your Palico. What's a Palico? It is a fucking cat. The Palicos are the best part about this game. I fucking love them. And you get to have one alongside you the entire time. I designed mine off of my girlfriend's cat named Frost. And let me tell you, Frost is fucking adorable in this game. Oh my god. And just because they're adorable doesn't mean they're not tough. These cats can take a beating from a monster and revive themselves, heal themselves. And the best part about it is that they also heal you and they resurrect you from the dead. That's the best part. And when you're fighting monsters, they'll just send a vigor wasp, whatever you want to call it, to you, and that it'll heal you, and you'll be paralyzed, and they'll knock you to unparalyze you. You also get to fully customize them, design your own Palico. You get to choose their armor and their weapons. I guess the Palicos are probably one of the best things about this game. And you can design them to look badass or adorable. Let me tell you what, my Palico is fucking adorable. I absolutely love it. Best part about the game, hands down, nothing else tops that. Just like your Palico, you can also design your own character. From the first start of the game, you get to design them to look just like you. You can make them look completely different, completely weird, scary, sad, what have you. You'll be between a guy and a girl, and you get to choose their hair, facial hair, makeup, scars, tattoos, the color of their clothing, and you also get to pick out and craft your own armor and weapons. Now, different types of armor have different types of skills to it, powers. Some can help you with your attack power, some can help you run faster, some can help you run for longer distances, and some can help you defend yourself against the roars of the monsters that stun you, and also winds, stuff like that. So you really have to look at the types of armor you want and what you find more important in your character. Do you honor power over speed, or would you have more defense over speed or more power over speed? You know what I mean. Same thing with the weapons. There's a ton of weapons to choose from. There's a lot of close range ones. There's long range ones. You got a bow and arrow. You got a bow gun. Cool weapons. Since I played solo, not with other players, I had to choose a weapon that was more heavy in power. Not much speed, but hell does a pack a punch. And speaking of packing punches, fighting is really fun in this game. It can also be frustrating, but I'll talk about that later. But fighting monsters, getting combos, getting lots of damage on them, stunning them, knocking them over, just completely wailing on them. Oh, that is so much fun. That's the best part of the combat. But like I said, it's also frustrating, so I'll get to that later though. But besides that, I have to say those are the likes and the good things about the game, in my opinion at least. You can have your own opinion. Don't get upset if you don't agree with me. Just don't be rude about it, okay? Alright, so let's move on to dislikes. And there is a lot to dislike about this game. In my opinion, don't get butthurt. But, first thing in the game, you can definitely tell The developers, Capcom, took after anime in terms of the design choices of the characters. You can just look at them, you know they look like anime characters. I'm not a fan of anime, so I don't like that decision. But other people might, but yeah, no, I don't like it at all. And the characters look kind of awkward. They really do. Like, I don't like the design choices for them. Speaking about the characters, there's a lot of side characters in the game. That you really wouldn't care about. You know, they're introduced in the game, but you would just forget about them. They don't really matter to you, unless some of the characters are or were in previous Monster Hunter games that I guess never experienced, and so maybe they matter a lot to other players. But for me, just playing this game, I could give two shits about them. Yeah, I really don't care about them. They can all die if I, they just, yeah, no. No. By far the worst character in the game, by far, is the handler. She is the most annoying, useless bitch in the entire game. If anything, in gaming history from what I've played. She serves absolutely no point in the game besides talking for you. Because your character does not speak at all. All he does is grunt. If the developers actually gave your character his own voice actor, the handler would not be needed. She calls you her partner, or you guys are partners, and that she goes on expeditions with you. But no, she doesn't do jack shit. The most she does is fucking cook for you, and besides that and talking, she is useless. If she was out of the game, the game would be 90% better. I hate her so much. She has the most annoying high-pitched voice. And she acts like a know-it-all, and I don't know, whoever voice acted her is really annoying. Especially with her grunts, her laughs, just overall acting for that character is just horrendous. Take her out of the game, never put her in another game again. Just no. And she's even supposed to be your partner, but she doesn't help you fight monsters at all. As a matter of fact, none of the characters in the game help you fight. None of the other hunters, not the commissioner, not the admiral, not the handler. It's just you and your palico. Now, if you play this game with other players online, your experience will be much, much easier and much better. But if you play solo like I do, because I don't like playing with other people, this game is tough. Very time consuming. Sometimes it takes me 20 minutes to kill a monster. Because by myself, you can only do so much damage, and some monsters have super high health. It takes forever to kill them. And it sucks because some weapons you can't really use unless you're playing with other people, because one weapon won't do it against a monster. It's like a bow and arrow. It doesn't do too much damage. The short katana doesn't do too much. Neither does blades. They don't do anything to the monsters. Now, if you're playing with 3 other people, one could have a very heavy weapon, one could use a bow gun, one could use an bow and arrow, and one can use a sword. Balance of weapons. And if the developers allowed other characters within the game help fight with you, you'd be able to experience more weapons. But no, you're just limited. And also, when monsters, let's say, when you fight monsters, you probably might have seen this, but your character gets knocked over so easily. And he gets dizzy too, and he also falls over nothing. And he's so slow to get up. That's the frustrating part about combat. That's because a monster will knock into him, and he's dizzy. He won't be able to move for 10 seconds. And some monsters have a one-hit KO move they'll use on you, and you're just dead like that. Now, if you have other people with you, they can help distract the monsters until you can get your mind back and regenerate your health. Like I said, if you played multiplayer with this game, you'd have no problem with that, but solo, it would have been nice to have someone other than your palico fight with you. especially in the Zora Magnaros mission fights. You're the only one fighting it. You got this big ass giant monster, and you're the only one shooting off cannons and ballista. Everyone else just stands there. They load up the cannons, but they just aren't smart enough to actually fire them. You have to do it manually. Oh, it's just so frustrating. Like I said, the combat was fun in certain times, but it's so frustrating in other times, such as this. I just don't get it. But my advice to you is play with other people. It'll be a much more enjoyable experience, unless you absolutely can't. So throughout the game, you go to the different regions, you find different monsters, so on and so forth. You fight them, and then you have options for optional or side missions you can do. All those side missions, all they consist of repeating the same exact fight you already done with slightly stronger monster. If you read the descriptions, they're all the same. You just refight the same monster you already fought before, just that he's a little tougher. And the only point I see in doing this is to gain some more hunter points and to get resources from that monster. But you can just easily go out on an expedition and fight it yourself without doing an optional mission. It's just, there's no point to the side missions. There's no really, nothing's really pushing me to do it. Like, oh, I can't wait to do that. No, it's just busy work. And adding that into a game it doesn't make it fun. And sure, finding the monsters is fun, but like I said just earlier, it's very frustrating when you're the only person fighting. It's just frustrating. I don't know why they did that. But speaking of going on expeditions, there is free roam available, but when you go on quests that are assigned to you, you have a specific time limit to get it done with. Why have a time limit? Just let me explore and roam around for as long as I want. No, but you can do that when you're not in a quest. In a quest, you have a time limit of about 50 seconds, but if you just go to the region by yourself without a quest, you can spend as much time as you want there. That's great and all, but the only problem is the regions are not very big. They're big at first, but when you start playing it a little bit, you start to, familiarize yourself with the regions and what leads to, what this tunnel leads to. It just gets overall boring, and some regions, such as the Rotten Vale or Elder's Recess, they're actually pretty small, like smaller than the Ancient Forest, let's say. Beautiful regions, they're just too small and not worth the free roam. Not worth it at all. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work out for me. Well, that's it. That is my review on Monster Hunter World. Okay, so there's probably a bunch of diehard fans disagreeing with everything I just said, or agreeing with the likes and not agreeing with the dislikes, but for me, it just was a huge letdown. But if you are into multiplayer and you have friends that would have this game, play it with them, because I feel like tag teaming on monsters would be super fun, but it's just not for me. It's just an overall mediocre and just not that fun of a game. Story's bland, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and the monsters and the customizations and the combat are really fun. But then it has so much more downgrades to the game that make it a little less fun. Either way, I still had that urge to come back and play this game. Something inside me really wanted to play it, even though I got frustrated every single time I played the game. Especially when you have to fight monsters over and over again because you keep dying over and over again. But it's still playable, and it's still a fun experience. So if you're into fighting monsters, or you've liked previous games of the Monster Hunter series, go ahead and get this game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just not my favorite, and there could have been a lot more done to the game to make it a lot more fun. Well, that's the end of it. thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope you did enjoy it. Subscribe for more review videos or just random videos in general. Please do leave a like and comment your opinions down below. I really want to hear from you guys. Alright, well, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in my next upload. Adios.